Linux Mint 22.3 just introduced two brand new tools, System Information and System Administration, and this might be the most useful update Mint has shipped in years. We are talking proper hardware info pages for USB, GPU, PCI and BIOS, a one-click way to share system info, and a clean GUI for managing GRUB boot menu. No terminal, no config files. OpenSUSE had something like this with Yast, and that was widely popular. The most beginner-friendly Linux distro on the planet has started something similar. I've been playing with both these new apps and trust me, these are really cool. Let's jump right in. Alright, so let's start with the System Information tool. This is what it looks like when you open it up. On the left, a clean sidebar with 7 pages. System info, USB, GPU, PCI, BIOS, system reports and crash reports. Think of this as a one-stop diagnostic panel for your Linux Mint system. Everything you'd normally have to dig through the terminal for sitting right here in one window. The landing page is just a quick snapshot of your machine. Distribution, kernel, laptop model, CPU, RAM, storage. So in my case, you see I'm running Linux Mint 22.3 Cinnamon on my HP laptop with Ryzen 7 5825U, 15.7 GB of RAM and a 512 GB drive. Done. No NeoFetch, no INXI FXXX, no piecing things together from 5 different terminals. And honestly, this is something Linux has needed for a very long time, for decades. If you wanted to know what was inside your Linux machine, maybe for troubleshooting, you were running LSPCI, LSUSB, DMI decode with 100 different flags, screenshotting terminal outputs, pasting it into forums, the whole circus. Now OpenSUSE did have an answer to this with Yast, and Yast was honestly one of the strongest selling points of OpenSUSE for years. But OpenSUSE is a niche distro, at least now. Mint is the most popular beginner-friendly Linux distro on the planet. So when Mint quietly ships something with the same philosophy, a unified GUI diagnostic panel, that's a big deal, trust me. Alright, with that out of the way, let's go through the actual pages. First, the USB page. This is where it starts getting genuinely useful. Plug in any USB device and it shows up here with everything you'd want to know. The device type, name, vendor and product ID, the controller it's on, the speed and how much power it's drawing. Right now I can see my HP webcam, my Realtek Bluetooth chip, my external keyboard and a SanDisk USB drive I plugged in for testing. And if your drive keeps disconnecting randomly or your transfers feel painfully slow, this is the page to check out. Is it on a USB 2 controller? Is it underpowered? You can see it right here. Honestly, this alone would have saved me a lot of headache back in the day. Next, the GPU page. This tells you which card Mint is using by default and more importantly, whether your hardware acceleration is actually working. OpenGL, OpenGL ES, Vulkan, all enabled. Video playback enabled with VA API and VDPAU both active. In plain English, your graphics card is being used properly for everything from gaming to YouTube playback. And Mint is pulling all this from 10 different command line tools and presenting it as one readable page. If your video is choppy or your games feel sluggish, this is your first stop. Then comes the PCI page, and this is the page support volunteers are going to absolutely love. It lists every internal component of your motherboard, Wi-Fi card, audio controller, Ethernet, GPU, and next to each one the exact device ID and what driver Linux is using for it. The very first question on any forum when something isn't working is, what hardware do you have? What driver is it running? With this page, both the answers are right there. 2 columns, 1 click. And finally, the BIOS page. Motherboard model, BIOS version, boot mode, UEFI in my case, and secure boot status. Now, this might look boring on the surface, but trust me, if you ever dual booted Windows and Linux, wrestled with NVIDIA drivers, or tried to load a custom kernel module, these 4 facts are the difference between fixing your system in 5 minutes versus 5 hours. You'll also notice system reports and crash reports in the sidebar. Those existed before. This tool used to be called system reports. They flag misconfigurations like missing language packs and let you inspect crash logs. Very useful. So picture this, you're new to Linux. Your Wi-Fi stops working, your screen starts flickering, or your audio cuts out. You head to the forums, ask for help, and the very first reply is run INXI FXXX, LSPCI K, DMESG tail, then paste the output. And that's the moment a lot of people quietly give up on Linux. But look at the bottom of the window. See those 2 buttons, copy to clipboard and upload? Hit either one. Mint grabs everything, formats it cleanly and gives you a clipboard paste or a shareable URL. And in my opinion, this is the most beginner friendly thing Mint has shipped in years. No commands to memorize, no output to format, you just hit a button and share a link. And I'm not alone in this. Support volunteers on Linux Mint subreddit and the Mint forums are already pointing newcomers straight to this tool. This is the kind of small touch that makes Linux Mint feel welcoming instead of gate-kept. For a beginner, That's huge. And honestly, Mint just made troubleshooting your machine effortless, but there's something I personally use that makes experimenting with Linux just as effortless, if not more. Yeah, I am talking about a VPS. Think of a VPS as a level up from your desktop Linux. Instead of being stuck on one machine you're scared to break, you get a fresh, resettable computer in the cloud. Spin up in seconds, break it, wipe it, start over, zero risk to your actual setup. And the one I personally use and recommend is Hostinger, who are also kindly sponsoring this video. Want to try Fedora, Arch, Debian and OpenSUSE all in one afternoon? Done. Want to self-host tools or experiment with cool new apps without the installation hassle? Hostinger has you covered. This is where it gets really fun. Nextcloud as your own Google Drive replacement, OpenClaw or Hermes as your own AI agent, N8N for automations, Vault Warden for your passwords, and Hostinger has ready-made templates for most of these. You're literally one click away from a working setup. No terminal gymnastics. They also have a really cool OpenClaw setup, which I think is the simplest way to use OpenClaw. Head over to hostinger.com/linuxtex and use the code linuxtex for a sweet discount. Seriously, check it out. Alright, back to it. Alright, the second tool, system administration. For me, this one is even more exciting. If you ever opened etc default GRUB in Nano, you know the feeling. One wrong character and your system doesn't boot. For decades, this has been the most beginner unfriendly part of Linux, and many newcomers dual boot, so this would get so much worse. Now you launch system administration and it asks for your password. It's running with elevated privileges. Open it up and currently there's just one page, boot menu. Everything you used to do in GRUB config is one clean window. You can do 4 things here. Show or hide the GRUB menu at boot. Set the timeout, how long the menu waits before booting the default. You can even set it to -1 to wait indefinitely. Then remember the last selected OS as the new default. Huge for dual booters. And add or remove kernel boot parameters, including the famous nomodeset flag every NVIDIA user has googled at 2 AM. Hit apply, Mint runs update GRUB and you're done. And here's the part I genuinely love. The tool doesn't touch your main etc default GRUB file at all. Instead it writes a separate file at etc default grubd98 mintsysadmin.cfg and merges it in. So if you hand edited your GRUB config, those changes stay safe. That kind of thoughtful design tells me Mint actually cares about not breaking your system. So who's this for? Dual booters tired of auto booting into an OS. NVIDIA users wrestling with driver flags. Anyone who wants the boot menu to actually show up and show up for the time amount they want. Before, this needed a config file edit or a third-party tool. Now, a few clicks. In my opinion, system administration is the more impressive of the two apps. It doesn't just show you things, it actually does them safely. But I want to be honest, these tools aren't perfect yet. I won't sugarcoat things. Both these tools are clearly version 1.0 releases, useful today but with rough edges. Let me quickly walk through what's missing. Starting with system information. The GPU tab feels thinner than the rest. I don't know, mostly enable disable flags while USB, PCI and BIOS are packed with details. There's also a known bug where video playback shows as disabled on some AMD system, even when decoding works fine. And remember, this is a tri-edge tool, not a replacement for NVTop, Redon Top and INXi. System administration is even narrower, just one boot menu page. I get it. Mint doesn't want a beginner accidentally breaking their bootloader, and caution is the right call here. But this is a great start to the system administration tool. And here's why I'm really excited about all of this. The next Mint release is reportedly adding a users section to system administration, covering account configuration, profile photos, and home directory encryption. So Mint system administration isn't just a GRUB editor, it's a foundation for a real, maybe even desktop independent admin center. This is the beginning, not the finished thing. All in all, even with these little rough edges, this is one of the most practical updates Mint has shipped in years. Alright, that's a wrap on Linux Mint's 2 new system tools. If you found this useful, hit the subscribe button. I make videos like this every week, covering everything Linux from new releases to deep dives like this one. And also turn on the notifications to be the first to catch my videos. And don't forget to check out Hostinger using the link in the description below. Hostinger is genuinely one of the best VPS services out there to learn and deploy Linux. Spin up a cloud server in seconds, experiment freely with any distro, and learn without the fear of breaking your actual hardware. Seriously, check them out. Use the code linuxtex for a sweet discount. Next up, check out my Ubuntu 26.04 LTS versus Fedora 44 video, which is the biggest, hottest distro battle of 2026. Definitely don't miss that. Alright, this is Linuxtex signing out.